what is truly important. We remember, we pay our respects and we give thanks as those two members of the armed forces in their uniforms march back out onto the pitch, perform an about turn, head towards the sidelines. And we are just about ready to go on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and on the BBC World Service this afternoon. Premier League action on the banks of the Thames. Fulham starting the day in 9th spot in the Premier League table. If they can get a win against Manchester United this afternoon, then they will park themselves during the World Cup at 7th spot in the Premier League, which will be a magnificent start to their season. And Manchester United, if they can get the win and bounce back from the defeat at Aston Villa last weekend, they will be just 3 points off the top 4. And given the calamitous start to their season, the home defeat against Brighton and the thumping they took at Brentford, then that will also be extremely good progress. Luke Shaw's given the ball away straight away. Tom Cairney's played it out to the right to one of those World Cuppers, Harry Wilson. 14 of them on the team sheets this afternoon, so there'll be 8 different international managers crossing their fingers, hoping for the best, hoping that no one picks up an injury on the eve of the tournament. This time next week, if you're a regular 5 Live listener, we will already be underway with the World Cup. We'll be bringing you commentary of the opening game, which is Qatar against Ecuador, which kicks off at 4 o'clock next Sunday. Marcus Rashford's involved in a 50-50 just inside his own half. The ball's gone bouncing off Christian Eriksen's head. It's come back for Tyrell Malacia. First season at Manchester United. Unfamiliar position for him this afternoon at right back with Diogo Dalot suspended. Casemiro gets a shove in the back from his fellow Brazilian Carlos Vinicius. Vinicius is playing in the centre-forward role with the absence of Alexander Mitrovic. Mark Schwarzer, you and I were watching that Manchester United back 4 warm-up, and I know everyone talks about Lisandro Martinez's height, but actually as a back 4, they are lucky Mitrovic is not involved today. They really would have been tested.
They would have been, yeah. Certainly with Mitrovic up front, he would have put a lot of pressure on them. He likes a battle, loves a physical confrontation with his opponent, and it would have been a very good one today, and it would have been a very testing one for Manchester United's defence.
Former Fulham goalkeeper, Australian international Mark Schwarzer alongside us at Craven Cottage will also be part of our coverage for the Australian games at the World Cup. They open their campaign against France. We're a couple of minutes in here. Aston Villa have won 2-1 at Brighton in the Premier League this afternoon. Danny Ings with both goals after Brighton took an early lead. And this is Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. Martinez making me eat my words, winning the first header of the afternoon against the much taller figure of Carlos Vinicius. Fulham attacking down the left-hand side with Anthony Robinson. Darts through a gap, goes tumbling down, doesn't get the free kick. Casemiro takes his time, clears the ball up to the halfway line, gets a second chance to play a pass with his left foot. He's overhit it, and it's gone out for a throw. Let's give you the two teams quickly then. Bernd Leno in goal for Fulham. Bobby Decordova-Reid, Issa Diop, Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson, Fulham's back 4. João Palhinha and Tom Cairney in front of that defence. Harry Wilson, the former Manchester United man, Andreas Pereira and Willian, with Carlos Vinicius playing up front. This is Issa Diop on the ball for Fulham. He plays it back into his own penalty area. Leno's first touch. He turns it almost into a 50-50. Floated ball headed forward by Robinson. Casemiro finds Eriksen. Casemiro's pass then hits referee Paul Tierney, so Manchester United will get possession again. They have David De Gea in goal, who's not going to the World Cup with Spain. Tyrell Malacia at right back, Luke Shaw at left back, Lindelof and Martinez the two centre backs, Eriksen and Casemiro as the midfield pairing. Alanga has come in for Garnacho wide on the right, Marcus Rashford on the left, and Bruno Fernandes playing off Anthony Martial, making only a second Premier League start of the season. Andreas Pereira up against his former club, whips the ball out low to the left to Willian. Willian goes tumbling down the little slope in front of us and ends up almost in the advertising hoardings. Felt he got an unfair nudge there, no free kick, and Malacia with the outside of his left foot very nearly finds Martial. The ball is cleared by Fulham, it ends up with Lindelof, and he plays it across to Lisandro Martinez. Forward to Casemiro, into the feet of Eriksen. Eriksen hurried out of possession, Palhinha won it and Fulham have it. Willian to Palhinha, back to Tom Cairney. Cairney's chased by Fernandes. and it's played back here to Issa Diop and across to the American Tim Ream. So Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. Lovely, accurate pass from Ream to Robinson. Good run from Willian on the outside. Willian picks up the ball down by the byline. Willian with the outside of his foot, plays it back here to Vinicius, who hits the shot, and David De Gea threw himself to his left and actually made the save, Mark Schwarzer, with his right foot.
He does. He actually does really, really well, because he adjusts the last second. He has to, because Tyrell Malanga gets in the way, and it takes a massive deflection off him, and like I said, De Gea reacted very, very well.
4.5 minutes gone. Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. I think I've just upset one of the locals. I was trying to get a better view of the chance there for Fulham. Stood up, and I've just received a tap on the shoulder. Important that we see and we bring it to the audience, but also important that the season ticket holders get what they came for. So I have been told.
Yeah, we get the ball. We see it again on the replay here, where Willian cuts back inside, plays the ball inside. As the shot on Vinicius gets taken, Tyrell Malacia gets in the way, tries to clear it with his left foot. And as he does, they take a big deflection, and De Gea just reacts really well, because he's already committed to make the save, and swings a big right boot in the way and clears the danger.
David De Gea all in yellow, passes the ball to his left, and Manchester United at a very sedate pace. It's Lisandro Martinez, the little Argentine, who strokes a pass forward into central midfield. Casemiro, poor touch, then put himself under pressure and just hoofs the ball straight out of play for a throw into Fulham on the right. That's
the moment for Fulham. They really need to pounce when Casemiro gets that ball, or ideally with his back to play, because you see Eriksen, Fernandes are all pushing forward. Alanga, they're short of numbers, and if they win that ball and that high press, Fulham can actually cause Manchester United a lot of problems.
Harry Wilson passing back into his own half. Issa Diop now starting a third consecutive Premier League game with Tosin sitting on the bench for Fulham this afternoon. Diop, a summer signing from West Ham. Decordova-Reid back from suspension at right back. Plays his pass back to Bernd Leno, another goalkeeper who's not going to be at the World Cup for his country this winter. Here's Diop. Diop's looking for the diagonal ball. Willian comes running towards it. Actually lets it run cleverly. That fooled Malacia. And Robinson, who will be at the World Cup for the USA, plays back to Kearney. Kearney to Ream, Robinson's American teammate. Both, of course, will face England in Group B, England's first game. Just in case you didn't know, 1 o'clock a week tomorrow. Full commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds of England against Iran. And so much preview material on the way on the BBC Sounds app and 5 Live for you this week, as Robinson comes bursting forward again. He's a strong runner, Anthony Robinson, and here he is, arms pumping, gets to the ball wide on the left. Malacia gives him a shove, knocks him off the ball. Robinson wins it back, toes it back to Kearney. Kearney just switches the pass to Palini. A little dink into the Manchester United box. The ball skids once into the grateful arms of De Gea. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, Palini just ran a little bit of space there, that little dink over the top, and obviously the ground has got a little bit of dew on it now. That skids through quite nicely to David De Gea. But Manchester United are under pressure. Fulham are looking to try and hit them on the counter. When they do, there are spaces, there are gaps down the left-hand side here particularly.
Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. Lindelof swapping passes with his centre-back partner Martinez. Back across to Lindelof. He's not made many Premier League starts this season. Lindelof didn't like the challenge on him from Carlos Vinicius, reacted, played his pass. Martial took his time there, plays it back to Malacia, under pressure, so's Casemiro. Fulham on the press. Martial lays off to Bruno Fernandes, who tries to whip one through to Alanga. The pass is blocked. Wilson is challenged by Casemiro. Third Fulham player to go down in the first 8 minutes and not get a free kick. So you can just feel a little frustration building from the home fans.
Yeah, I think the referee got that one absolutely right there. Casemiro was very, very quick, reads the play very well. He's got the angles covered very well. He's quick to react.
Luke Shaw's ball through to Rashford. Rashford suddenly in the Fulham penalty area, lays it off to Martial, takes a touch, it gets away from him, and goalkeeper Leno throws himself to his right. No real power on the shot, a looping effort. Leno palms it behind for a corner. Yeah,
I don't think the pass from Rashford was particularly a good one. You can see as they get played over the top here, I think it's Fernandes gets down the run down the left-hand side. Look, as Rashford actually looks to play it inside, and the ball is just a little bit soft and not enough pace in it for him to actually get that shot away, Anthony Martial. It gets caught underneath him.
Manchester United corner, 8.5 minutes played. Fulham 0, Manchester United 0. Bruno Fernandes is the short option. Eriksen, though, rolls it back to the corner of the box. Luke Shaw's cross in. Alanga jumped for it. He was beaten by Tim Ream. Headed away by Kearney for Fulham. Back it comes to Malacia. chased by Andreas Pereira. Malacia plays it back to David De Gea on the edge of the United box. Rashford's wide on the right, passing to midfield. Malacia is easily dispossessed, and suddenly Vinicius plays the ball in and the pass is intercepted, and the chance has gone begging for Fulham. Came from a loose pass from Marcus Rashford. He's lost it again inside his own half. Fulham trying to win it back. Robinson keeps it in on the left-hand side, can't quite do it. Throw in Manchester United. Yeah,
the chance was on there for Fulham. Vinicius, his pass just wasn't the right directed pass. He tries to actually play it through the Manchester United defender, and there was no hope of that happening.
Ball back with Lindelof from the Manchester United throw. He was trying to find Harry Wilson in the middle. He couldn't do so. Carlos Vinicius. Martinez, long ball over the top. Martial stretches. The offside flag stays down. Whether it would have gone up, possibly, after the event, I'm not sure. But the ball ends up with Leno, so the officials have decided to let play continue. Diop to João Palhinha, who will be in that Portuguese squad for the World Cup, who is in that Portuguese squad for the World Cup alongside Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo. If you didn't hear the team news, Ronaldo not involved at all for Manchester United this afternoon. They've only got 6 outfield players on the bench, so they're a man short on the bench, and they've got 2 goalkeepers there, 23-year-old Nathan Bishop and Martin Dubravka, who made his debut in the League Cup in the week, 19-year-old Zidane Iqbal, one of the United substitutes. Willian bursting onto a ball into the Manchester United half. Little cut back here to the edge of the box. Kenny can't get there. Lindelof sweeps a right boot at it, clears the ball, it goes spinning up in the air. Palhinha stretches, plays it wide to Wilson. Palhinha gets it back. And now Decordova-Reid tries to take on Marcus Rashford down the right. Rashford just about holds him up. Ball into midfield. Nice from Wilson. Little touch and turn. Ream plays it wide to Robinson. Good start by the home team here. Robinson's cross into the box. A couple of Manchester United players get in each other's way. This time Rashford's got clear ground in front of him. Wide on the left inside the Manchester United half. He can't beat Palhinha, and the Fulham fans absolutely love that, because Palhinha makes the block with his right leg, and then Rashford went flying over the right leg, took a tumble. United get the throw. Mark.
Yeah, very good defending from Palhinha. Gets back really well, makes a very well-timed challenge there. He does get Rashford actually collides into him after Palhinha makes that challenge, but it was very well-timed and very well executed.
11 minutes gone. Good start by Fulham here, Mark.
Very, very good. They're very much on the front foot. They're actually putting Manchester United a lot of pressure. They're trying to win the ball high up. They're not giving him too much time on the ball. And at times, Manchester United have struggled a little bit with it.
7 home games so far this season. Just the 1 defeat for Fulham. That came against Newcastle. Flag goes up against Bruno Fernandes, who was waiting for the long ball edge of the penalty area. He was offside. He might have even given Tim Ream a shove in the back as well. So whichever way you look at it, that is going to be a free kick for Fulham. Yeah, so the only defeat was against Newcastle, and that actually had its own circumstances, because Nathaniel Chalobah was sent off in the 8th minute of the game. Other than that, it's been 3 wins and 3 draws. Mitrovic, of course, a big part of it, as always, for Fulham, not involved this afternoon, and Serbian fans desperately hoping he's going to be fully fit for the start of the World Cup. Kearney almost caught in possession, but cool as a cucumber, brings it away for Fulham, turns away from Fernandes, wide to Robinson. Robinson's ball over the top. Willian chases De Gea quickly off his line and gets there at the edge of his box.
Yeah, De Gea does really well. He watches it the whole way through. As that ball gets played over the top by Anthony Robinson, Williams actually the one who's going to win the ball, except De Gea reads it very well, comes right at the edge of the box, corner of the box, and takes the interception.
Casemiro diagonal, finds Rashford, keeps it in. Wide on the left for Manchester United, goes for the old Elastico, I think that was, but Decordova-Reid's not falling for it, makes the challenge, and behind it goes for a corner. Just going to see if they show us that little bit of skill. Do you know what I mean by... Do you call it the Elastico, Mark? Do you know what I mean by that?
You're asking the wrong person, mate.
Okay.
I'm used to catching the ball, not playing the ball with my feet.
It's where the ball is sitting on one side of the boot. You only use one boot, and you go to flick it one way, and then you very quickly flick it back the other way. They've not shown us it again, and they've taken the corner. And here's Eriksen playing the ball back to Luke Shaw. But Rashford is a real master of the art. Malacia, diagonal, perfect pass onto the foot of Eriksen. Cross into the near post, headed away by Diop. Pereira, little layoff, back to the edge of his box. Kearney strokes the ball forward for him. Malacia dives into the challenge. Pereira with a back heel. Back to his skipper, Kearney. Kearney across to Palhinha. And Tim Ream now has it for Fulham. Caused Chris Sutton great mirth when I once claimed that I was playing football outdoors in a piazza in Perugia many years ago against an Algerian fella who did it on me, and Chris just wouldn't believe that someone of that level would have that level of skill, but I swear it's true. Martial on the turn. Good run being made by Bruno Fernandes on the outside, hits the shot, and it's tucked in at the United get themselves in front, and Christian Eriksen slides in to score his first goal for the club. Rashford's burst of speed found Fernandez's ball across the Fulham goal. Eriksen couldn't miss. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, Manchester United have just given Fulham a bit of their own medicine back, winning the ball really high out, turning it real quick, defending into that transitional attack, and as they do that, they catch Fulham out unawares. I think it was Casemiro who makes that really good challenge in midfield, and that quick transition. Martial involved, Bruno Fernandes, as he plays that ball across, I think he gets a little bit fortunate. I think there's a slight deflection off Diop, and instead it goes all the way to the far post, and it's an easy tap in for Eriksen.
Just getting another look at it right now. Bruno Fernandes hitting that sort of cross-come shot, aiming for the far post, and Eriksen continued the run from midfield, sliding in and sticks it away.
Yeah, I think actually Bruno Fernandes is going for a shot on goal. You can see that big deflection off Diop's heels as it goes across to Eriksen. It looks like a great pass, but you watch the slow-mo, you can see it's a deflected shot on goal that ends up in the path of Eriksen.
Much faster start than they made last week, Manchester United. They were already a couple of goals down against Aston Villa last Sunday, and here they find themselves 1-0 up away to Fulham. Carlos Vinicius cross with his left foot, blocked by Casemiro. So Manchester United have a lead to defend. Win today takes them to 26 points. Tottenham would be 3 points above them on 29. Manchester United, though, would have the game in hand. Newcastle in third at the moment, sitting on 30 points. Anthony Robinson's played the ball out of play, and it goes out for a Manchester United throw. How are you on your YouTubers, Mark? Do you have an extensive knowledge of them?
No, mate, sorry. Okay. I can't help you on that one.
There's a fella in the ground today, and I have to say I was unaware as well, I probably shouldn't be, called I Show Speed, who apparently was reading the team news out on the television coverage today. Has an enormous following on YouTube, and he's here in a Ronaldo shirt. He's up there, right on the left, on the pavilion of the cottage. Has his Ronaldo shirt on, was absolutely devastated that Ronaldo not involved for Manchester United today, but we'll have to look him up after the game. 16 minutes gone first half. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Luke Shaw with the header away, chested down by Pereira, volleyed away by Lindelof up towards the halfway line. Martial penalised. He was holding off Issa Diop, but the free kick actually goes Fulham's way.
No, he's got him for a handball. You can see as he brings it across, the ball goes towards his chest. Martial just brings his arms across his body, and the ball comes off his arm.
Free kick Fulham. Andreas Pereira gets ready to take. Ball inside the centre circle. In fact, he's just going to be forced back to the halfway line. Moves back a couple of yards, takes it short to his right to Diop. Diop striding forwards, senses an opportunity, bobbles a pass out to the right to Decordova-Reid. He runs beyond Pereira, then plays it back to Pereira, who comes in from the right. Low pass to the edge of the box. Willian looking for a little 1-2 with Vinicius. Manchester United win it back, and Lindelof plays it back to De Gea, who launches it right down the middle of the pitch. Martial won't jump for this one. Diop wins the header. Bruno Fernandes jumps for the next ball. Then Martial is up really well to win a header. Clearance then hits Martial. He's got Rashford on his left. Rashford tries to hold off João Palhinha, who comes through the back of him. Rashford's down, has stayed down, no free kick. He's holding the back of his head, Marcus Rashford, so the game will have to stop for that, but I think and hope he's going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised the referee didn't blow for a free kick there. Palhinha just looked like he was all over the back of Marcus Rashford there. You can see Marcus Rashford, he's lying on the ground, he's complaining. He's holding the ball, he's trying to shield it. Yeah, I suppose there's a bit of both really. There's a Marcus Rashford grabbing hold of Palhinha's from behind, reaching behind, grabbing hold of his legs, and then Palhinha's able to wrestle him out of the way, and the referee's just played on.
Yeah, Palhinha was doing that thing when a player shielding the ball was trying to get round him. It was almost like Rashford was trying to give him a piggyback, and then it ended up in a very sort of clumsy tumble, and Rashford did take a little bang to the back of the head. He's okay, he's back on his feet. Oof, I tell you what, Casemiro, with the game getting back underway, has hit a shot. I don't know, maybe he was just giving the ball back to Fulham from a full 70 yards, which was on target, and Bernd Leno saved it quite comfortably, but may have been a little bit surprised to see the ball hurtling towards his goal at that speed. He's all in blue, he clears with his right foot, Lindelof heads it away, the ball bounces once inside the Fulham half, played back to Tim Ream. Ream has time to get there, gather his thoughts, play it up to Willian, lovely back heel flick into the path of Kearney. and Fulham come forward, trailing Manchester United 1-0. Good ball from Kenny to Pereira, lovely touch, lay off to Willian, one touch from him, the angle's tight, here's the cutback, cleared away by Eriksson, and behind for a Fulham corner.
Yeah, really nice play there. County's ball inside was actually fantastic. He split two Manchester United plays. Pereira's little 1-2 touch play, lays it off to Willian. Willian looks to try and cut it back across the face of the goal. Vinicius is making a run to the near post. Is in behind him. He really needed to try and lift it to the far post, but difficult to see from that angle.
19 minutes played, first half, 5 live BBC Sounds and the World Service. Fulham have taken their corner, trailing Manchester United 1-0. They've worked it to the edge of the box, left-hand side. Pereira with a right-footed cross, easily headed away by Casemiro, and he's the first out to chase that header. Robinson takes a couple of touches for Fulham, plays it across to Kearney, finds Pereira to Willian. Lovely meaty first time pass off the laces, back to Kearney, wide to Robinson. Robinson cuts in from the left-hand side. Willian takes over. Malacia's there waiting. Willian with the curling shot, having beaten Malacia over the bar, behind for a Manchester United goal kick, but encouraging stuff from Fulham.
Yeah, very much on the front foot. I mean, they've been pretty much from the start of the game on the front foot. They've really tried to find their way through the gaps in Manchester United. There were times where they should have probably got shots off. They didn't. This occasion, Willian beats two players, has a shot from quite a long way out. The minute it leaves his boot, you can see it sailing over the crossbar. But it just needs to be a little bit more clinical when they get in that final third.
Luke Shaw's ball down the left. Manchester United looking threatening. Rashford laid it off to Eriksson. Fernandez onto it in the centre circle. Opens his body up and sweeps play out to the right. Elanga just rolls one into the path of Malacia. First time ball back to Elanga. Then a whipped cross to the far post. Rashford on the end of it. Easy save for Leno. Flag was up, wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, Fulham, I mean, at one moment it was about, have they fallen asleep? They've allowed Rashford to be so close, so alone in front of the goal. Instead, the referee, I think the linesman's, well, it's a really, really tight call. Would have been an interesting one had he have scored, had it have gone to VAR.
Fulham have given the ball away. Bruno Fernandes onto it, wide on the right, dummies across this time. He's got support from Elanga, finds Elanga. Elanga running into the penalty on the right, cross comes in, Martial sticks out a boot, can't control it. Harry Wilson chests it down and says to Bernd Leno, all yours, I'm going to leave it to you. And Manchester United back off. 21 minutes played, Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Christian Eriksen scoring his first goal for Manchester United in the 14th minute of the game. Space opening up for Fulham on the right. Harry Wilson runs on to the ball. Left-footed pass, took a little bit too much on it. Pereira slides to try and keep it in. Martinez is over there for United. Pereira picks himself back up, comes running back at Martinez. He knows he's coming. He plays the ball down the left to Eriksson, who's lost it. Palhinha quickly forward to Carlos Vinicius, the big Brazilian. Onto another Brazilian in Willian, trying to make space for the shot on the edge of the penalty area. He's tackled, and Manchester United clear into the Fulham half.
And he's tackled by that man again, Casemiro. He's been absolutely excellent so far in this game. Just his positional play in front of that front four, the way he's able to move across from one side to the other, his reading and understanding of the game is exceptional.
Bernd Leno, right-footed ball. Header is won by Harry Wilson, climbing above Luke Shaw. Martinez there first for United. Here's Casemiro trying to do something creative, floated pass over the top, gets away from Elanga. Bernd Leno immediately bowls it out to Anthony Robinson, and quickly Fulham are into the Manchester United half. Willian in the inside left channel, gets it back from Kearney. He's dragged Lindelof out to this left-hand side. He goes scuttling infield, lays it off to Palhinha to Andreas Pereira, who's forced back by Eriksson. Palhinha involved again, wide to Decordova-Reid. Enterprising play again from Fulham, trying to find a way through this Manchester United defence. Pereira on the turn, midway inside the United half. Ball given to Kearney, back it comes to Ream. Ream, left-footed pass across the halfway line to Diop. Diop takes a few big strides forward. Pereira's lost it. Luke Shaw aggressive in the challenge, wins it well. Casemiro's pass out, blocked by Pereira, and Fulham have it again. Wilson has support on the right from Decordova-Reid. He goes running at Luke Shaw, double step over, cross comes in, Williams' little layoff, can't quite find Vinicius. Lindelof clears. Robinson has lost Elanga for a second here. Elanga trying to get away from him down Manchester United's right, turns inside him, sliding challenge from Palhinha, good meaty tackle, and he celebrates it with a fist clench as well.
He does. It was a full throttled lunging sort of challenge. The timing was absolutely perfect. If it hadn't been, there would have been some very interesting questions to be answered by the referee.
Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Earlier on today, Brighton 1, Aston Villa 2. This the last Premier League action before the break for the World Cup. Football Daily on BBC Sounds becomes World Cup Daily from tomorrow. Carlos Vinicius on the turn here for Fulham, taking on Martinez, trying to get into that Manchester United penalty area. Hits the cross with his left foot, hopefully. Martinez blocks, throw into Fulham.
Yeah, nice play again from Willian down this left-hand side. Vinicius then reads it very well, comes across, gives him support. There's a flick on from Willian. Vinicius is there, he turns down the line, and there's a really good race on down the left-hand side of this pitch here, and Martinez does well. He stays up. There's moments where you thought he'd lost the race, but stayed in it and made the vital block in the end.
Stoppage in play, slight problem for Andreas Pereira, which Fulham fans won't want to see. He's holding his right side, his sort of lower back on the right. He's taken a breather, sat down inside the Manchester United penalty area. He's been absolutely brilliant for Fulham so far this season, having joined from Manchester United in the summer. He's been hauled to his feet and he's okay to carry on. Who have you spotted there, Mark? Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson in the house. Knows a thing or two about World Cups, of course. Throw in towards Carlos Vinicius, trying to bring that ball down inside the Manchester United penalty area. Decordova-Reid plays it back to Diop, towards Pereira. He's able to turn away here, edge of the box. Low ball comes in and Wilson tried to get the touch. Flag goes up now. Pereira's tripped after the flag went up. Now that potentially could have been a penalty, but the offside flag went up and the trip came after that.
Yeah, he's given offside for Harry Wilson in the middle of the 6-yard box as he gets on the end of Pereira's shot. We're watching the replay now. Pereira does really well. He gets cross ball. Yeah, he's absolutely right, the linesman. You can see that Harry Wilson's probably half a yard in an offside position. De Gea makes a brilliant save on the line, by the way, as well. And then, you're right, probably would have been a penalty, but,
yeah,
you know, that was already done with. 2
saves with his feet so far, David. It doesn't matter, though, does it, Mark? So,
yeah, very much so. Yeah, no, look, that was a tough one because it's right at an angle. Both of them were actually very tough. That was tough because it was right at an angle, so close, has to just throw something at it, get a body behind it, and he does that very well. 3 goalkeepers ahead of him in the Spain squad: Robert Sanchez of Brighton, David Raya of Brentford, and Unai Simon, who was part of the Spain squad at the Euros. Manchester United almost get caught in possession. It's amazing to think David De Gea can't get in that squad. Not really. No? Only because of the way that Luis Enrique wants to play. I think Unai Simon, Sanchez, Raya, they're all very, very good with their feet. And that's something that David De Gea isn't at that same level in that department.
26 minutes gone in the first half. That is the analysis from Mark Schwarzer at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Malacia playing right back for United this afternoon. Diogo Dalot suspended. Ball is with Casemiro. Casemiro across to Lisandro Martinez, just inside the Fulham half. Finds Rashford in a bit of space on the left. Rashford floated cross, comes in over the head of Ream, over the head of Bruno Fernandes as well, and easily taken by Bernd Leno. Bruno Fernandes was suspended for last week's defeat against Aston Villa, and Donny van der Beek was playing in that role. In fact, van der Beek has had 3 consecutive starts in the team. He's on the bench this afternoon, but it did feel like United really missed Bruno Fernandes last week. Here's Ream. Ream passes up the middle of his own half. Vinicius gets something on it. Willian, lovely curling pass out to Harry Wilson. Willian has stayed down hurt. Advantage is played here. Wilson dancing feet, edge of the box, and De Gea this time saves with his hands. Punches a powerful shot away. Bruno Fernandes will keep it in play in the right back position. Draws Andreas Pereira in. Willian's okay, he's back on his feet, and David De Gea busy again.
It was, yeah. No, look, as I say, that I expected him to make. I was a little bit surprised he punched it. I thought he could have caught it, but reacted well, got the ball out of danger, and again another warning sign for Manchester United.
Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Plenty of World Cup chat, obviously, all throughout the programme this afternoon. I don't know if you heard the show earlier on today. It was brilliant to hear Bastian Schweinsteiger chatting to Darren Fletcher and Neda Manura as part of the first hour. If you missed any of it, that is available on the Football Daily feed on the BBC Sounds app as a special, already to go. So that is there for you to listen to right now, and loads more World Cup content coming for you next week on the World Cup Daily. BBC Sounds app, get it on your device, subscribe to the Football Daily feed, and away you go. And the Match of the Day feed as well, because that's going to be another feature again during the World Cup. Lots of the top 10s with Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer and Micah Richards. We're almost to the half-hour mark in the first half here in West London. Manchester United leading through the Christian Eriksen goal. Here's Casemiro, again looking for the longer ball over the top to Elanga, just a little bit too far. A couple of bounces into the arms of Leno. Manchester United looking for a 6th consecutive Premier League win at Craven Cottage. In the last 5, their lead on aggregate is 14 goals to 2. So in recent times, they have enjoyed it, although Mark quite rightly reminded us of the last Fulham win back in December 2009. Goals that day from Danny Murphy, Bobby Zamora and Damien Duff in a 3-0 win. Rashford forward to Martial, leaves it for Bruno Fernandes, back to Martial! Oh, good save, Leno! And he's just done enough, gets back to grab it on the goal line. He got an initial block on the shot. It looked like it might just creep over, having squeezed underneath his body, but he saved it.
He did, he does well again. But Leno makes himself big, makes it difficult for Martial to get a clear shot on goal, comes out, closes the angle down. Had he have not been able to get back himself, Anthony Robinson was very quick behind him to would have been able to clear the danger.
Willian on the ball for Fulham. The trail Manchester United 1-0. But David De Gea has been busy. And Fulham have been creating chances. Diop to Palhinha. Back to Diop. Diop inside his own half. Forced back to his goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. And Leno across to Ream. Ream from the left-back position. A longer ball aimed towards Carlos Vinicius, who's enjoying the battle with Lisandro Martinez and Victor Lindelof. Ball is headed clear, out for a throw into Fulham. Anthony Robinson looks for the run of Willian. Very easy for him to collect that and find Pereira just outside the Manchester United area. Pereira, first touch, just got away from him. Martinez made the tackle. Wilson jumps to try and win a header on the right for Fulham. It clears him and goes out for a throw-in to Manchester United. 6:06 tonight, by the way, after we finish with 5 Live Sports Premier League Sunday. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton taking the calls. Number to dial 08085 909 693. I'm sure we'll hear from one of them at half-time with what they want to talk to you about, and they will be on from 6:30 through until 8 o'clock this evening, and plenty of 6:06s during our World Cup coverage as well. 31 minutes played here. Manchester United leading 1-0. Fulham throw on the right. Decordova-Reid. It's headed away by Shaw. Second header from Casemiro. Ball runs past Casemiro. Lindelof plays it back to De Gea. De Gea plays out to Elanga. Difficult pass for him to control. He couldn't do it. It goes out for a throw into Fulham. Yeah, De Gea there played it first time out to his right-hand side to Elanga. It's in behind him. Can't control it. It's not the best of balls from De Gea. It's exactly the point that you were just making a few moments ago about David De Gea not being at this year's World Cup. Ream's ball for Robinson to chase, just gets there, hooks across back into the area. De Gea comes, good claim with both hands, leaping high, and runs out to the edge of his box, bowls it out to Elanga. Tim Ream does brilliantly to read it, runs forward, wins the header. You heard what the Fulham fans made of that. Skills from Willian to beat Malacia. Cross comes into the far post, headed away for now. Decordova-Reid battling with Rashford, must have dragged him back there, he did. Free kick for Manchester United. The question is Decordova-Reid going to get booked?
Yes, he is, as he pulls out the card. And I can understand the referee giving a card there, because he has, you can see Marcus Rashford is past him, is away from him, and Decordova-Reid grabs hold of him and prevents him from getting any further away. Willian did very well on the left-hand side as he whips that cross in. It's only Martinez who gets the last-ditch header on it, because otherwise Harry Wilson was making a late run into that far post, can easily have got a nice header off on the target to goal.
So 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Manchester United leading 1-0. Referee Paul Tierney being called over to the side, I think, to have a word with the Fulham boss Marco Silva or some of the Fulham backroom team. Very unhappy with the yellow card. It's Luis Boamorte, I think, that Paul Tierney is chatting to there, just explaining the decision, what he wants on the side of the pitch. Fulham fans feel, well, you can hear it from behind us as well, that things not going their way, not getting the rub of the green. Luis Boamorte's had his ticking off, he's gone and sat down, and I'm sure actually the last time we were here, Mark, you managed to grab a quick word with him, didn't you, after the game?
I did, yeah. No, I talked to him about how Fulham have been doing so far this season, and how pleased they were up until that stage. But as always, as most coaches would be saying, they always know they can get a little bit more out of them.
Rashford looking to try and get onto something on the left for Manchester United. Palhinha is there to intercept. Palhinha with another tackle. Shaw finds Ericsson. Ericsson just inside the Fulham half to Bruno Fernandes. First time ball intercepted by Diop. Diop to Ream. Good football from Fulham's centre-backs. On to Kearney. Kearney wide to Willian, who's having a good afternoon up against Malacia. Malacia normally a left back, playing at right back. Willian tries to go on the outside, gets the cross in. Martinez flicks the header away. He's beating him every time, Mark.
He is now. Look, it's a William of old. He's been exceptional in this first half thus far. He's really causing Malacia down here. This left-hand side from Fulham a lot of problems.
Tim Ream on the ball again for Fulham, but inside the Manchester United half. Positive stuff, but trailing by a goal to nil. Here's Polina just 10 yards inside the United half in a central position. Low ball across to Decordova-Reid. Manchester United have everyone behind it, defending their lead. Diop to Ream. Ream takes it away from Ilanga. Plays it out here to Robinson. Robinson is going to run down the left. Bruno Fernandes tries to make the tackle. Robinson beats him. He's beyond Malacia. He's into the box, and Malacia at the second attempt slides in. Clean challenge. It's gone behind for a Fulham corner.
Yeah, he's had a difficult afternoon so far, Malacia, dealing firstly with Willian, and that time with Robinson. Looks like Robinson's passed him as well. He does very well, though, to recover and making a last-ditch sliding challenge to block the cross from Anthony Robinson.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka unavailable for Manchester United. Diogo Dalot suspended. So the option this afternoon is Tyrell Malacia at right back. And as Mark Schwartz has just been saying, having a tough time of it. Corner for Fulham, driven deep on the volley. Willian gets it wrong. Difficult skill, slices it badly, and behind it goes for the Manchester United goal kick. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1.
There's a wonderful ball to the far post from the corner there from Tom Kearney. Unfortunately for Willian, he just slightly gets that timing wrong, and he mishits it, and it goes out for a goal kick. But well played, and Manchester United caught a little bit napping.
Match of the day 2 tonight, 10:30 on BBC One. Jermaine Genius on there with Mark Chapman. We heard from Jermaine ahead of the game, chatting to Darren Fletcher. So if you've not seen yesterday's goals in the Premier League, they're also there for you on Match of the Day 2. Great show last night. Will be good again this evening. Aston Villa, having made it 2 out of 2 under Unai Emery with the 2-1 win at Brighton. Andreas Pereira down to the byline on the right. Cross comes in. Casemiro volleys it away. Stooping header forward, finds Bruno Fernandes. That was a risky back heel, and he's given possession away. Here's Harry Wilson back to Decordova-Reid. Thumped pass low. Good pass to Pereira. Cross comes in to the far post, and Malacia just glides it past his own post and behind for another Fulham corner.
Yeah, he looked very cool and calm. He probably looked like the calmest player on the pitch there. Malacia, as the ball comes, gets whipped into that far post. Willian is behind him. He doesn't know how close he is. He doesn't know exactly if he's pulled off his shoulder, and does the most sensible thing and just puts it out for a corner.
2 Jermaines, Match of the Day 2 tonight. I forgot. Jermaine Genius we heard from, and Jermaine Defoe also on the show this evening. BBC One at 10:30. Last 10 minutes of the first half. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Fulham pressing again. Pereira's corner into the near post. Martinez jumps and heads it away. Willian plays it to Pereira. He's going to hit the cross first time with his left foot. Malacia gets a header on it. Here's Willian. And he'll just start the build-up again for Fulham by playing a first-time ball back to Robinson. Kearney dummies Eriksson. Brings it forward up towards the edge of the area. Vinicius challenged. Fulham have lost it. Martial now trying to get Manchester United away at speed. Ilanga fouled by Issa Diop. Free kick for Manchester United, 10 yards inside that Fulham half.
Yeah, it all started there from Tom Kearney. Tries to play a wall pass with Diop. Diop's not really ready for it. He's at the edge of the box. The minute he plays that ball, Manchester United step out, win the ball, and there's all of a sudden a counter-attack. Diop is then forced almost to give away a free kick. He's just fortunate he doesn't get a yellow card for it.
Free kick taken. Back it comes to Lisandro Martinez. Fulham should be pretty fresh. Didn't play in the League Cup in midweek. Manchester United were playing Thursday night in the game against Aston Villa. Martinez's ball over the top. Martial won't catch that. And Bernd Leno can take hold of it for Fulham. There's a pretty humdrum first half at Old Trafford on Thursday night, and thrilling second half in the win against Aston Villa. And it means Manchester United next back in action, actually Tuesday the 20th of December in that League Cup 4th round against Burnley. Ball is high in the air. Willian does wonderfully well to control it, tries to get away from Malacia. Polina heads it forward. Vinicius making it awkward for Lindelof. Lindelof gets his body in the way, plays it back to De Gea. Ball goes straight up in the air. Tim Ream forward, powerful header. Casemiro nods it to his right. Malacia under pressure, doesn't think the pass back to De Gea is on. Lindelof knocks it straight out of play, much to the delight of the Fulham fans, and it is still Fulham 0, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, you can see Lindelof didn't want that ball, wasn't ready for it, and as he tries to quickly react and tries to find Elanga down this right-hand side of Manchester United, he just overhits it, and in too far behind him, he's got no chance to prevent it from going out for a throw-in.
Tim Ream playing back to Bernd Leno. Leno outside his penalty area, no pressure on him at all for the Manchester United front line. Now Martial just slowly closes in, so Leno plays his pass down the inside left channel. Malacia heads it away. Kearney wins the next header, nods it forward. Vinicius trying to bring it under control, gets away from him. Malacia plays it to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes curling past. Luke Shaw speeding away down the left. Harry Wilson trying to get back there to block it off for Fulham. Shaw stops, plays back into midfield to Casemiro, just inside the Fulham half. Lovely diagonal ball out wide to Elanga. Elanga holds off Robinson. Martial back to goal, holds it off, curling low pass to Rashford. Rashford just has to change the angle of his run, but gets to the ball, plays it back to Luke Shaw, cross in, Martial's header just wide, and behind it goes for the goal kick. Good chance.
Yeah, very good chance there. Martial is a difficult chance. It's a ball whipped in with pace, a little bit high, tries to get up above it, tries to guide it to that far post, just gets a little bit too much underneath it. But really nice ball. I think it's Luke Shaw whips it into that near post, and he gets across. Martial gets across his runner, across Tim Ream. Well, that's very, very close.
5 minutes left in the first half. Manchester United leading Fulham by a goal to 0. Robinson playing a ball across the face of his own box. Palhinha is there. Palhinha, lofted pass out to the right. Decordova-Reid suddenly got Manchester United on the back foot. He's about 40 yards from goal, wide on the right. Wide to Wilson. Early cross in. Vinicius attacks it. It's beyond him, and David De Gea can watch it go across the face of goal and behind for the goal kick. I was saying this to Darren Fletcher before the game, Mark. When Anthony Martial is fit, he is the man for Erik ten Hag. It seems at the moment is his first choice, number 9.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it comes down to, we talked about before the game in the show, Jermaine Diaz was talking about the fact that, you know, well, even talking about the fact that the mobility of Martial, the ability to get across that front line, not just to be a target man or a number 9, he brings that more to the game. Is he the same finisher as Cristiano Ronaldo? Absolutely not.
Casemiro's pass out to the right. Elanga on the halfway line. Can't find Fernandes. Kearney to Willian. Back to Kearney and now Tim Ream. Closing stages of the first half. Issa Diop just inside his own half. Martial follows him. Diop to Decordova-Reid. Bernd Leno gets involved. The goalkeeper outside his penalty area. Cross to Ream. And Ream, hair tied back, brings the ball up to the halfway line. Goes for one down the middle. Pereira leaps to win the first header. Jumps for the second header. Casemiro wins that one. Luke Shaw clears on the half volley. High steepling ball into the Fulham half. Headed sideways by Diop. Bouncing ball. Willian jumps into Elanga. Advantage played because Malacia has it for Manchester United. Can't see an option forward. Comes back to Casemiro. Good disguise on the pass. Goes low to his left to Martial. Martial has support from Rashford into the Fulham penalty area. Trying to get it onto that right foot. Low ball back to Malacia right on the edge of the box. Has a swing at it. Catches Diop. And the foul goes against him. Fulham free kick. Malacia's down and Diop's down.
Yeah, Malacia, they take that swing for the ball there. And Diop gets in the way. Makes the interception. And Malacia just collects Diop. It's a clear foul.
Yeah, kicks him and hurts himself and hurts Diop as well, and no surprise, trying to hit a shot. Diop got his leg in the way, got a touch on the ball, and Malacia's kicked straight through him. Yeah,
I mean, just to lead up to that, you can see there Casemiro, when he's got that ball, Malacia plays in the ball because he doesn't want it. There's too many bodies around. He plays it to him, goes into the area where there's so many bodies, but Casemiro's just so cool, so calm, does that disguise pass. He finds the smallest of gaps in between a whole lot of players. What a quality player he is.
Ream for Fulham inside his own penalty area to the left to Anthony Robinson, up the touchline to Willian. Deep inside his own half, tracked all the way by Malacia. Willian plays back to Diop. Diop forward here to Pereira. Casemiro tried to win it, didn't. Shaw comes in to back him up, and now Manchester United onto it just inside the Fulham half. Eriksen trying to thread the eye of the needle, gets it wide to Rashford. Rashford looks up, early cross in, Ream gets half a header on it, glancing off his forehead, goes behind him, out of the Fulham box, and Elanga chases it out to the right for Manchester United. Draws Anthony Robinson in towards him, lays it off to Malacia. Pass to Fernandes. Fernandes tackled by Polina. It comes back to Lindelof, and here's Malacia on the right. He's given it away. Robinson to Carlos Vinicius. Half tackled by Casemiro. Nearly ran for Harry Wilson on the halfway line, but it comes off him and goes all the way through to David De Gea.
Yeah, Fulham need a lot more from Carlos Vinicius. At the moment in this first half, he's really struggled to get hold of the ball. Too many times the ball's bounced off him. He's allowed the defender to get around him, stick a boot in. Just needs to be stronger.
He joined from Benfica this summer, one of the many players to come through the door for Fulham. A couple of seasons ago, you might remember him from his time on loan at Tottenham. Didn't feature too much. Here's Casemiro being closed down by Vinicius, but knew he was coming. Curls a lovely ball out to Luke Shaw. Shaw almost dragged back by Polina, able to continue. He was initially fouled, and the referee's given that. He's not given that for the second one. Polina then slid in and won the ball. It's for the first one, and had he not committed the first foul, Polina wouldn't have been able to win the ball with the second challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, as frustrating as it is, there was still enough time within that period, that moment where the first foul was. He drags him back, he pulls his shoulder, enables him to get it back around and make that sliding challenge. I think the referee's absolutely right, has to give a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, he could have given it straight away, but he's trying to play the advantage because Manchester United are on the move. Now, Marco Silva, I think, is arguing that the advantage is gone. I'm not sure. 1 minute of added time. Ball forward towards Bruno Fernandes. Elanga onto it. Back to Fernandes. Right of the Fulham penalty. Eriksson! Oh! I thought he'd made it too. Left-footed effort just wide of the right-hand post. And Manchester United very close to the break. Very nearly 2 goals in front.
No, it should have been 2-0 up. I mean, I just thought for the life of me that is in the back of the net. It was an incredible play there. Fernandes allows the ball to go to the top. You see them. Elanga plays a back heel. Fernandes finds Eriksson making that late run into the box. He's in line on the penalty spot. No one on him, and he puts it wide.
Paul Tierney's felt moved to have a word with the Fulham captain Tom Cairney. He's called over Bobby Decordova-Reid as well. Anthony Martial is listening in. Very nearly a Fernandes assist for an Eriksson goal for the second time in the half. And I think Christian Eriksen is wondering how he didn't quite finish that one off. It was just a ball into space from Fernandes, hoping a teammate would run onto it. Eriksson did. Good contact on the finish, just couldn't get it on target. Now, Fulham fans, few boos and jeers, not at their team. That is at the officials. They don't feel they've got the rub of the green. Mark Schwarzer, what have you made of the first half?
I think it's been an entertaining game of football. I think Fulham started the game very brightly. They're very much still in the game. They've been caught out at their own game, they've been putting Manchester United under pressure. They've won the ball at times high up the park, just haven't been clinical enough for that final delivery in the box. And if they have had half a chance, haven't been able to put it away. Manchester United did the opposite. They won the ball, but they were clinical when they had that one chance. There was that second chance that they should have been 2-0 up. Eriksson, you put your house on him normally scoring. Even though you watch on the replay, it is a difficult sort of finish first time. But Eriksson, with his quality, you expect that ball in the back of the net.
Fulham boss Marco Silva in animated conversation with referee Paul Tierney at half-time. Paul Tierney's got a smile on his face, match ball under his arm. Christian Eriksen has his first goal for Manchester United. Half-time at Craven Cottage, Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Marco Silva, Darren, is absolutely steaming here.
Yeah, I'm going to get over it. 15 minutes to calm himself down before the second half starts. Manchester United haven't dropped a point from a winning position yet in the Premier League this season, which kind of emphasises, Mark, that the size of Fulham's task in the second half. And I think that was a really pertinent point that you made just before half-time. Carlos Vinicius has his strengths, but when you see Fulham playing well, they go in and out of Alexander Mitrovic, and they've not been able to do that in the first half.
Yeah, I think it was very obvious in that first half how much they missed Alexander Mitrovic. Obviously, look, 12 games, he scored 9 goals. Of course, any team is going to miss a player of that calibre, and certainly a player in that sort of form. But for Fulham, the way they've set up this season, he is vital for them. And today, I feel for Carlos Vinicius because he's not of that same level. Who would be? But it's a big chance for him. He just needs to get hold of the ball box. I'm sure the manager will be there at half-time to his teammates saying to him, look, you need to be stronger. You're a big lad. You've got to do better. You've got to stay up on your feet, keep hold of the ball, wait for that support.
It also doesn't take an expert, does it, to realise that Erik ten Hag feels that Manchester United can get in behind this Fulham team. We've seen lots of long straight balls. They seem to think they can get those those runners in behind the Fulham defence?
I think they're just trying to catch some unawares. I think when Fulham are trying to play a little bit higher up, then they're looking to try and, when they've got possession, that quick turnover is when they're looking to play that ball over the top more often than not. A couple of times we've seen Casemiro from deep actually playing that ball as well, because Fulham like to try and keep a higher line now these days. And at the moment, because of the way the surface is, I think Fulham have felt like they could play a little bit higher up because they've got the advantage of that slippery surface, and the ball so far every time has gone through to Bernd Leno in goal.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ali. So second half commentary to come from Craven Cottage, where Christian Eriksen's first Manchester United goal is the difference between Fulham and Manchester United at half-time in what is the final Premier League game before the players jet off to Qatar for the World Cup, or jet off on holiday and then ultimately jet off somewhere for a training camp. This is 5 Live Premier League Sunday. Coming up during half-time, you'll hear from Unai Emery and Roberto De Zerbi after Aston Villa beat Brighton 2-1 at the Amex in our other commentary match today. That's all coming up after the latest news, and that's with Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
President Erdogan of Turkey says an explosion which has killed at least 6 people in Istanbul looks like a terror attack. More than 50 people have been injured in the blast in a busy shopping area in the city. The BBC's Orla Guerin is there.
There is a very heavy police presence here. We have seen ambulances coming back and forward. There are a lot of police vehicles here with flashing lights, and as you can probably hear, there is a police chopper which has been circling overhead for the last hour or so.
The Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, says his autumn statement on Thursday will restore stability to the public finances, but he's warning everyone that will need to pay more tax. Labour say billions of pounds could be raised through a strengthened windfall levy on energy companies. The mayor of the recently liberated Ukrainian city of Kherson says there's no bread or medicine. Despite this, residents in the city have been in the streets celebrating the departure of the Russian troops. Yaroslav Yanushevich is a senior military official in the area.
People are taking to the squares, onto the streets with Ukrainian flags, rejoicing, thanking the armed forces. But I want to warn everyone, mine clearance is underway. The enemy has mined almost everything. I beg you, don't gather in crowded places.
Remembrance services have been held across the UK in honour of those who made the ultimate sacrifice in war. King Charles laid a wreath at the Cenotaph in London, along with other senior royals, politicians and faith leaders. And England's cricketers are celebrating after winning the Men's T20 World Cup for a second time. They beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in Melbourne. The victory makes them the first team to hold both the men's 20 and 50 over world titles at the same time.
The best live sport.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022.
Top scorer, Darwin Núñez.
Núñez with a shot, tucks it away.
It's got to be Harry Kane.
Kane sticks it away. He scores another penalty.
Messi will get the golden boot.
It is Messi. Messi still going. Hits the post and it's in. He's done it.
Coverage of every game starts next week on 5 Live and Radio 5 Sports Extra. This is 5 Live Sport with Darren Fletcher.
Welcome back to 5 Live Premier League Sunday. Half-time at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Christian Eriksen with his first goal in the red shirt of Manchester United. Let's get some reaction to today's earlier game where Aston Villa made it back-to-back Premier League wins under Unai Emery with a 2-1 win away to Brighton. Afterwards, the Villa manager spoke to Andy Gillis.
Unai, congratulations. Danny Ings has already said coming off the pitch today that you have made a huge difference to the team in the short time you've been there. What have you done that has changed momentum at Aston Villa so quickly?
I think first we changed today playing more 4-2-3-1, and when he's playing between two central back, I think he's his best position, and if he has player with a good skill to pass him good balls, I think he's a very good scorer, and he made it today. Now is the moment to take confidence, to be together, to create our way, and to build our feelings as well, and to be happy with our supporters because they are helping us, and I think we have to create this connection.
You conceded a very early goal that was very sloppy. You would not have been happy about that, but were you happy about the response from the team to that goal?
Yes, we made a mistake, it's clear, but the reaction was amazing. And when we are making some mistakes, we are analyzing with the players, and we want to improve, not to do the way we want to create, to build with our tactical way. But today we made it as a mistake. But we are going to work to do the same by being well.
So that's the Aston Villa manager, Unai Emery. Brighton felt they should have had a penalty of their own, and their manager, Roberto De Zerbi, felt there were numerous incorrect decisions that went against them today.
I always thought before to work in Premier League that it was fair play, because Premier League is famous for the fair play. On the pitch today, I didn't see the fair play.
Why do you say that?
I think the referee has to control the game, not me, not my players, not my fans. And I think in this we have to speak.
What were you particularly upset about? Because you received a yellow card from the referee. What most upset you today?
About wasting time. A lot of wasting time, like in Italy.
So the lines are open for 606. You can call in on 08085 909 693, text 85058, or tweet hashtag BBC 606. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage with you from 6:30. Robbie's with us now. How are you, mate?
Well, I'll tell you what, Flesh, I didn't get a build-up like JJ did earlier. You know, you had a show with him, you had a show with me as well. I don't get the same build-up as JJ.
It's nice to know you were listening. It's nice. I speak to you more than I speak to him, I think.
Bang out of order.
Digging myself out of a massive hole as we get towards the Trail for Your programme. Hey, I tell you what, I've got sympathy with De Zerbi. Did you see the kick on Luca Dean's kick?
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty, Flex.
How's it not a penalty?
Did. I thought it was a penalty. And, you know, again, VAR, did it go to VAR, Fletch? I've only seen the replays. I didn't actually watch the game, but I've seen
it went to the remote VAR, but never went to the one on the side of the pitch. I mean, these seem to be becoming more and more prevalent week after week. It's almost as inconsistent now as it was when referees were making decisions in real time, which is a farce, really.
I totally agree. You know, but on Aston Villa, it's amazing the 4-2-3-1 formation. It really suits them. You know, you can get your number 10 involved. You know, and listen to Unai Emery there. Danny Ings got with the 2 goals today. He can play in between the 2 centre halves because the wide. You look at Manchester United now as well. Eriksen could have had 2 goals, and he's playing from the deep line position as a 6. So there's so much movement and fluidity in a 4-2-3-1, and you can get a lot more attacking players in. So Unai Emery, you know, what a start, the win against United and the win against Brighton today.
He's a practical man, always has been, hasn't he? When you watch Emery's teams play, he's always been practical in terms of the way he's got them set up. And when you look at Villa now, Rob, you can see balance, can't you?
Yeah, but it's amazing, Fletch, isn't it? When teams make a change of manager, you know, how the reaction is. And I've seen it here. You know, I know, you know, Chris hammers me. I'm sure you've heard about, you know, Macclesfield, and we've had a change of manager and we've gone to a 4-2-3-1. And it's amazing the difference in and the running stats when a new manager comes in. And I'm sure, you know, I don't know what the running stats are of the Aston Villa players, but it'd be interesting to see that, you know, people say the bounce back ability, and when you do make a change, it looks like the Aston Villa players have responded to Unai Emery. But, you know, the thing I can't believe is, you know, if the running stats are more, why didn't they do that for the previous manager? It's amazing, Fletch, isn't it?
Oh, it's always the massive question, isn't it? Why do you do it now? Why couldn't you do it then? What about this Fulham-Manchester United match? I mean, Manchester United, if they win today, Rob, they'll be within 3 points of 4th place with a game in hand heading into the World Cup break.
And 6 points behind City, the same games played. So I think, you know, before the start of the season, I'm sure if they'd have said to Ten Hag, who, by the way, as I thought, is doing exceptionally well. And it's amazing on 606, Fledge, we'll, you know, get I wouldn't say it's a mid-season report on all managers, but, you know, what would you give Ten Hag out of 10? I think the way, you know, he's got
Ten Hag out of 10.
How dynamic they are. Probably give him a 7 or 8 out of 10 for the early part of the season. But I think Ederson should have scored the second. But United, both teams defensively, I thought he'd have played Maguire with Lindelof at right back. He might make that change at half time because My last year down there as a right back is, Williams having the better of him. So will he make a change at half time? So 08085 909 693. And just remember, you did do 606 with me.
I was going to give you the big send-off there. I'm just going to check first. Wouldn't you give Eric 10 Hag out of 10? Would you give him that, though? 10 Hag out of 10?
Oh, you've not changed.
It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful sharing the airwaves with you again, my wonderful friend. Have a good show with Chris. Is that good enough? Take care, mate.
Thanks,
See you
mate.
soon. That's Robbie Savage alongside Chris Sutton, 606 08085 909 693. Now, from 5:45 on 5 Sports Extra, you'll be able to hear commentary of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And Jenny Cow, I can't believe I'm saying this, Mercedes starting pole and second on the grid.
I know. I mean, that's all we said last year, but this year it's been totally different. Mercedes have not been in fine form. However, we've turned up Brazil thinking that this championship season is done and dusted because Max Verstappen and Red Bull have tied up both championships. However, Jack Nicholls, there's life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, well, this was the thing. Once Max Verstappen wrapped up the title, the question was, what's the point in the rest of the year, And you can only look forward to each race being a good race, and we haven't massively had that. Some of the most recent Grand Prix haven't been particularly exciting, but this is what we're here for. Mercedes front row lockout, Verstappen third, and actually would have been fourth on the grid were it not for a Ferrari penalty for Carlos Sainz. So he's looking like he's struggling. Very interesting.
Jack Aitken, Williams reserve driver, is alongside us as well. The grid is busy. It's tense out there. George Russell used to be a Williams driver. This year, of course, got the promotion to Mercedes. And it's his first ever pole position in a Formula One car. Can you just even imagine how he's going to be feeling?
I'm sure he's more than used to it, given his record in the junior formula. George has been on pole plenty of times, albeit not in Formula One. He had a great race yesterday. He came out punching and really worked hard to get the move done on Verstappen, even if he was the faster driver on the day. So, they're in a great position. He's going to potentially have the support of his teammate if he gets away from the line cleanly, and this is going to be a massive advantage. He'll be 2 against 1, and that's really what they're going to have to try and play on.
Well, as you said, not long. The cars are already on the grid, and we'll get the race underway in about half an hour.
Thanks, Jenny. 5:45, 5 Sports Extra, 08085 909 693 for Robbie and Chris on 606. Let's get back to Craven Cottage. Manchester United 1-up against Fulham. Christian Eriksen with a goal. Ali, is Marco Silva any calmer now?
Not much. He's marching across the pitch, still chuntering away to one of the members of his coaching staff. This is the thing with the game at Fulham. The teams appear from this tunnel away to our left-hand side. The players are on the pitch and ready to go, but everyone else has got to continue this walk all the way across the pitch. And until Marco Silva gets there and stops chuntering away, then we can't get the second half underway. Andreas Pereira, I can see, is having a chat with referee Paul Tierney. Manchester United lead by a goal to nil. Mark Schwarzer, Christian Eriksen had a fantastic chance to make it 2-0, but Fulham showed more than enough first half to make us realise that they could easily still come from behind and win this game.
They have, yeah. They're certainly the biggest threat for Fulham have come down, mostly down Willian's side. On the left-hand side, he's been very proactive. His relationship with Andy Robinson has been very, very good. The problem I find for Fulham at the moment is trying to bring in that quality that Mitrovic had.
Yeah.
Vinicius has struggled to really get hold of the ball at times.
So second half underway, Fulham playing from left to right towards the Hammersmith end of the ground away to our right-hand side. White shirts, black shorts, white socks, and Manchester United in the red shirts with the white numbers on the back, white shorts and black socks. We've got a sort of long-range shot of the stadium from the back of the new giant Riverside stand moments ago. It looks like a giant sort of cruise ship from a certain angle. If you look at the stand from that side of the Thames, that is away from us on the far side of the ground. I'll give you the two team lineups again in just a second. Fulham with an early attack in the second half, and Vinicius' cross very nearly found Andreas Pereira in the middle. Really important sliding block by Victor Lindelof, and Fulham have won themselves an early corner in the second half. So let's see what they can do with this. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Lines open for 606 08085 909 693 is the number to call to chat to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton after the game. Pereira's corner in, Vinicius jumps, the ball's loose inside the Manchester United box. Kearney hits one on the bounce, couldn't keep it down, balloons it well wide, and it goes behind for a Manchester United goal kick. So Fulham have Bernd Leno in goal, Decordova-Reid on a yellow card at right back, Anthony Robinson left back, Diop and Ream, the two centre-backs. Joao Palhinha, partnered by Tom Kearney in central midfield this afternoon. Kearney's first Premier League start of the season with Harrison Reed suspended. Harry Wilson, Andreas Pereira and Willian, who was giving Tyrell Malacia a really tough time. Manchester United's right back in the first half. And Carlos Vinicius as centre-forward in the absence of Mitrovic, as Mark Schwarzer was just mentioning. David De Gea in goal for Manchester United. Malacia right back. Luke Shaw on the left. Lindelof and Martinez, the centre-backs. Harry Maguire on the bench. Eriksen and Casemiro in central midfield. Elanga, Fernandes and Rashford, with Anthony Martial starting as centre-forward. No sign of Cristiano Ronaldo today. No Antony, named in Brazil's World Cup squad. No Jadon Sancho. Here's Rashford. Little ball round the corner to Eriksen. Forward to Martial. Here's Martial again to Fernandes. Fernandes trying to slide one through to Eriksen. Ream is there to intercept. Play to Palhinha. Palhinha. Ball down the right for Harry Wilson to chase. Easily covered by Martinez. Martinez wants to keep this in play and just chips a little ball down the left-hand side to Bruno Fernandes. So 2.5 minutes gone in the second half. 5 Live BBC Sounds and the BBC World Service. Good ball through to Elanga with the chance. Down he goes, Leno to make the save. Rashford on the rebound. That's blocked. And behind it goes for a corner.
Yeah, good defending in the end from Fulham. They scrambled to get bodies back in defence. You can see there Bernd Leno looked like at one stage he's going to get caught out. He came quite far off his line. Closed the angle down, makes the initial save, makes a good reaction save. The ball pops out for him. As it does, there's a follow-up. I think Rashford goes with the follow-up, and his last-ditch defending, Anthony Robinson, I think the ball comes off as the last player to defend it and puts it out for a corner.
Good chances for Manchester United right at the end of the first half, right at the start of the second half, but they still only lead 1-0. Eriksen with the corner, curling delivery. Headed away to the edge of the box. Luke Shaw's there, outside of his left boot. Back to Eriksen. Dummies across. Lays it off to Martial. Martial pokes it to Shaw. Shaw across here to Malacia. 40 yards from the Fulham goal. Shaw with time to try and pick someone out in the middle. Cross comes in. Headed away by Vinicius. Second header from Kearney. Williams volley. Round the corner. Martinez plays it back to Casemiro. Clever ball from Casemiro wide to the right. Fernandes almost in, but Anthony Robinson across and clears it. And Fernandes actually, he turns around to Casemiro and says, I could have just played that a little further right, I would have got there. And then realised, as well as the criticism, I'm going to give you a bit of praise, and I'm going to applaud the pass as well. Applaud the attempt at least. 4 minutes gone second half. Manchester United leading 1-0. They've won another throw wide on the right, which Malacia gets ready to take. Fernandes makes a little run. It's thrown into the feet of Elanga. Elanga lays it back to Malacia. Passes back towards the halfway line. Eriksen controls it. Low ball out to Rashford. Comes in from the left-hand side. Gives it back to Eriksen. Eriksen goes straight back to Lisandro Martinez. Curling ball from him. Right on point. Finds Luke Shaw on the left. Martial's drifted out wide to the left. Shaw gives it to him. Then played to Rashford. Back to goal. Lays it off to Casemiro. Ball into the edge of the box. Elanga heads it back. Fernandes sprints across to control it for United. Tries to play the 1-2, but it does run here to Elanga. Eriksen. Forward to Martial. 25 yards out. Onto his left foot. Fancies it. And Leno down low to his left to make the save.
Yeah, I think it's Harry Wilson who jumps across, dives across last second. I think maybe got a bit of a touch on it to slow the pace of the ball down as he gets that shot off Anthony Martial. It just takes a bit of pace. Maybe he doesn't actually. It looks like it goes all the way through. Doesn't quite hit it as sweetly as he would have wanted to, and it was quite an easy save for Bernd Leno on the end.
A couple of saves for Bernd Leno to make right at the start of this second half. Diop with an interception inside the Fulham half. Paul Tierney, referee, jumps out of the way, very wise, because if Diop catches you running at full speed, you're going to feel it. Willian down the left to Kearney. Kearney thinking about an early cross. Malacia throws himself in the way of the ball. Kearney miscontrols, trying to keep this in play. Down by the byline on the left hand really well. Chase back, but gets his pass to Robinson. Now Palhinha. Palhinha to Willian. Had to stretch, but he does control it. Kearney. This is all in a very tight space, wide on Fulham's left, inside the Manchester United half. Kearney's there again, gets it from Robinson. Back to Palhinha in a more central position. And in turn, he goes back to Diop. Cross here to Tim Ream. Ream, 10 yards inside the Manchester United half. Low ball to the edge of the box, finds Harry Wilson. Wilson up against Luke Shaw inside the United area. Cross half deflected, might run to Vinicius. Turns, oh, good save, De Gea. That was hit with real power. De Gea gets his body in the way, Fulham get a corner.
Yeah, big chance for Vinicius there. Gets the ball, does really well, takes a nice touch, really quick spin and turn and shot. And as he does it, just gets it too close to David De Gea, who makes a really good reaction save.
Great reflexes from David De Gea, because that didn't just hit him, he threw his hands low to his left to make the block. They've taken the corner, Fulham. Kearney crossing in from the corner of the box to the far post. Oh, De Gea again! Flicks it over the bar. Ream's header, he thought he'd scored. And De Gea is pulling off some magnificent saves this afternoon.
Yeah, two massive saves from David De Gea in very quick succession. Fulham take quite a quick corner there as the ball gets ripped in by Kearney. You can see there, Tim Ream at the far post, gets high. I think it's Martial trying to pick him up. Out jumps him, muscles him, and De Gea's there to save him again.
Corner for Fulham. Former Manchester United man Andreas Pereira takes it. Delivery into the box. Ball is pinging around. Runs loose on the edge of the box. Kearney is there. Kearney plays low to his right. Pereira slips as he hits the cross. Fernandes blocks it. It's another corner for Fulham. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Very lively first 7 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, got a bit of pressure here from Fulham. They need to keep trying to piling that pressure on. They'll try and find the gaps. Maybe they'll get lucky.
Pereira. Away swinger with the corner, headed away at the near post by Martinez. Kearney hits the shot, the ball comes pinging away and out of the Manchester United box, and suddenly red shirts flying forward. Rashford at full speed on the right hand side. Christian Eriksen furthest ahead of him inside the penalty area. Rashford with the cutback. Martial stretches, can't get on the end of it. Can Fulham now turn it into a counter attack of their own? That's what the home fans want. You can hear them. Pereira slowed it down though. He's made about 15 yards up the right-hand side and has just thought, let's steady on.
Well, he's had a look and he saw Willian was one of the first players back trying to defend on that counter-attack from Manchester United. Looked forward and he only had Vinicius and Harry Wilson up in front of him and thought it was best because they were actually quite outnumbered.
8 minutes gone, second half. Mark Schwarzer here with us at Craven Cottage. 5 Live BBC Sounds of the World Service. Anthony Robinson running at Malacia. Malacia this time wins the battle, finds Eriksen. Casemiro looking for Bruno Fernandes. Palhinha intercepts. Marcus Rashford jumps, lands awkwardly, stays down. Bruno Fernandes stops the game. The whistle didn't blow, but Marcus Rashford is going to need treatment, and he's banged his right shoulder, and that is a concern.
I think it was when he landed, he puts both arms down to try and caress his fall, and as he does it, there's a lot of pressure, and he does fall more on his right shoulder. So I don't know whether he's overextended it or whether it was actually the impact when he hit the ground.
Do you think on current form, his current form, Mark, he would start for England, first game of the World Cup a week tomorrow? Rashford, Kane and one other. What do you reckon?
Look, if you talk about form in the last probably couple of months, yeah, I would think so. I think he's been probably one of the more informed players out of the England squad. But you look around the England squad, there's quite a few players that haven't quite been at their best recently.
Yeah, England's first game, week tomorrow, 1 o'clock kickoff, England against Iran. We'll have 3 commentaries on the Monday for you. Scott McTominay is coming on for Manchester United. Elanga?
Yes, that's right.
Anthony Elanga is going off. So, very different players. Change of system then for Manchester United. And McTominay on. Coming up to 10 minutes gone, second half. So, yeah, 3 commentaries a week tomorrow from the World Cup. England-Iran at 1. Senegal against Netherlands at 4. This is all UK time. And then Wales playing in a World Cup for the first time since 1958 against the USA at 7 o'clock. World Cup Daily. Available for you on the Football Daily feed on the BBC Sounds app. We'll be there with you every day of the tournament, starting from tomorrow with all the build-up, and you'll obviously be on the move during the entire month of the tournament, so the BBC Sounds the ideal place to listen to your World Cup football. This time next week we'll be into the opener, Qatar against Ecuador. Willian outside of his right foot. Ball is back now with Issa Diop, Fulham centre-back, across to Decadova-Reid, down the line to Harry Wilson. Wilson's lost it. Rashford back on his feet. Bit of skill. Finds Martial. Quick feet from Martial. Lay off to Eriksen. Just inside the Fulham half. Back to Shaw. Shaw wide to Martial. Looks for the run of McTominay through the middle, and Ream had to stretch to win the header. Fernandes then nods the ball down. Anthony Robinson under pressure. Edge of his own box. Tackle but fouled. Free kick for Fulham. Fulham 0. Manchester United 1.
Well, I'll go with the referee's decision because we can't really see from this angle, and he's right. He's literally within probably 3 metres of the challenge himself, and the referee was very quick to blow his whistle.
Tim Ream on the ball then for Fulham. Plenty of time to get back into this game. David De Gea with a couple of blinding saves early in the second half. Dan James, one of those, getting ready for action. Another former Manchester United player in the Fulham ranks to see if he can get his new team back into the game. Luke Shaw on a burst forward. Oh, very nearly found McTominay. Running through again from central midfield. Pass was intercepted. Kenny on the turn. Plays it across to Palhinha. Palhinha to Decordova-Reid. Urged on by the Fulham fans down this right-hand side. Pereira looks up, gets that cross in towards the far post. Willian was attacking it. Malacia is there, heads it high over his own bar. Another corner to Fulham.
Yeah, good defending from Malacia, that far post. So often we see it, they switch off a little bit, follow it all the way in, gets the header on, puts it out for a corner there, because Willian was right behind him and ready to pounce.
Fulham corner, 12 minutes gone in the second half. Big red and white letters appearing on the screen above that Hammersmith end, away to our right. Come on, Fulham, they say. Pereira just puts his palm of his left hand in the air, 2 steps to the ball, curls it into the far post. Martial wins the header for Manchester United. Martinez jumps to try and control the bouncing ball, under pressure from Tim Ream in the left back position. Harry Wilson closes in. Fulham get the throw. Ream applauds. Wilson takes it quickly, gives it to Decordova-Reid. Wilson back to Kearney. Now Ream wide on the right. Kearney again. Kearney looks up, thinks about the cross, delays the delivery, plays it down to the right, works into Decordova-Reid. Decordova-Reid's cross. Vinicius gets a header on it. Willian trying to keep it in play. Fernandes hooks it forward for Manchester United, gets the ball back and then hits it first time forward. Rashford at full speed through the middle. Leno very quickly off his line. He's able to clear with his right foot and away for a Manchester United throw.
Yeah, Leno read the situation really well because he needed to. Rashford was through and he was going to beat Diop. And I think it was Anthony Robinson to the ball there, and as he was just about to gain that advantage, you can see Bernd Leno coming sliding through and makes a vital clearance.
Right, Welsh international for Welsh international here. Harry Wilson is coming off. Dan James is coming on, currently on loan this season from Leeds United, former Manchester United man. So we'll see plenty of familiar faces out there come speeding onto the field, both of them. The World Cup to look forward to. Special Wales World Cup preview on 5 Live on Tuesday night from 7 o'clock. England World Cup preview on Wednesday night. It's Monday Night Club tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And then Thursday, your ultimate World Cup preview. So loads of build-up coming your way next week. Fernandes on the turn has knocked the ball out of play with a first-time pass. Attendance this afternoon has just been given to us just under 25,000 inside Craven Cottage, 24,246. Lindelof shepherds the ball out of play, goes behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. And of course, if you're a cricket fan, which I know you are sometimes, right, you'll know that England are the world champions.
I didn't see that. I must have missed it.
No.
Yeah, no, I must have missed it.
Well, if you need to, BBC Sounds Test Match Special Pod will have all the details, all the reaction for you. Winning the game by 5 wickets with Ben Stokes making an unbeaten 50. Here's Martial. Martial inside his own half. Got to be careful. Runs out of trouble. Ball forward to McTominay. McTominay looking for the run of Christian Eriksen. Eriksen offside. Free kick for Fulham.
Yeah, it's just a split second too late in that pass through. Eriksen made the run. The good run. Unfortunately, the ball was just a bit too slow getting to him.
Brazilian Grand Prix just underway, if on schedule. Right now on Sports Extra. Go on, Mark.
Sorry to interrupt there, but I tell you what, if that linesman was very quick putting his flag up, you can see Eriksen was clearly onside.
On, was he? Right. Here's Leno, Fulham's keeper, forward to Pereira, wide to Decordova-Reid, half an hour to play. Fulham 0, Manchester United 1. Last Premier League action before the World Cup. Decordova-Reid looking to find Dan James. Luke Shaw comes away with it for Manchester United, up to Martial, back to Eriksen. Eriksen high, lofted ball to the right. Fernandes almost lost the flight of that, has kept it in. Robinson clears. Very promising for Fulham because Malacia was steaming forward on the Manchester United attack, out of position. Willian to Kearney, cross in! 1-1! Fulham have their goal. They have their equaliser. And Manchester United caught out, attacking down the right-hand side. And I was looking for wild celebrations. The reason they haven't come is it's former Manchester United man, Dan James, in the middle, who stuck the ball away. doesn't want to celebrate against his former club, but right place at the right time. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, you feel for Manchester United because they're on the attack. Ericsson plays a switch-filled ball across the park. Fernandes does everything he possibly can to keep the ball in. In doing so, he allows Anthony Robinson to play that first-time pass. And as Fulham then attack, they're in trouble. They haven't got the numbers back. Tom Candy puts in a really good ball into the box, and it's Dan James who makes that late run and finishes it from probably 4 or 5 yards out.
Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. And you have to say, Fulham deserve it. Chances created, David De Gea in brilliant form, and just exploited the opportunity there, Mark, brilliantly. Saw the space and went.
He did, but I tell you what, Manchester United got a lot of bodies back. No one's really going for the ball. Lindelof tries to make the block, and Tom County plays the cross through his legs. That's a bit unfortunate for him. But you can see there, Martinez in the midfield, in the middle of the park, doesn't actually try at all to do any defending at all, and Dan James just slots in, and it's about 4 yards out when he slots it in.
Interesting last half hour on the way then. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Dan James with his first goal for Fulham, cancelling out Christian Eriksen with his first goal for Manchester United. Vinicius battling with Lindelof. Fulham fans felt it was a foul. They're right, free kick for Fulham.
Yeah, you can see there, Vinicius, that's one of the first times in this game where he was really strong and he's kept hold of the ball. And the only way Manchester United were going to get the ball off him was fouling.
Free kick Fulham then. Central position, 10 yards inside the Manchester United half. Andreas Pereira has had a chat with a couple of his teammates, gets ready to take it, just picks the ball up, spins it, places it down on the turf. And Fulham have the bit between their teeth. If they can get a win against Manchester United this evening, they'll be 7th in the Premier League. Pereira with the free kick, curled into the Manchester United box. McTominay heads it away, pass out towards Eriksen, couldn't bring it under control. Robinson plays to his left, to Willian, left-hand side. Robinson continued his run. Fulham have lost it. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes very easily tackled edge of his own box. United have cleared for now. Eriksen stretching to win it inside his own half. Beats Diop to it. Plays it to his left to find Shaw. And Shaw with the outside of his left foot looking for Casemiro, who's overhit the return pass. And again, the Fulham fans are cheering every mistake. Throw-in taken quickly by Decordova-Reid. James's ball into the penalty area. Vinicius shot, half deflected. Willian chases. De Gea's there, gets a foot on it and clears it out for a Fulham throw wide on the left.
Yeah, good play from Fulham there. Take a really quick throw in there. You can see Casemiro was still looking at Eriksen. They were looking at each other and showing each other eyes. And then that time, Fulham were really quick at throwing the ball in and almost made them pay for sleeping.
Throw-in for Manchester United, though. Fulham couldn't make anything of their throw. Coming up to 20 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live, the BBC World Service and the BBC Sounds app, wherever you're listening to us this afternoon. If you're a 5 Live listener, or on Sound 606 on the way with Chris and Robbie. Lines open 08085 909 693, the number to dial. Rashford's pass is not going to find Martial. Martial, with a shrug of resignation, gives up, can't chase it. Fulham have the momentum at the moment. You can hear it from the fans around us as well. They're on the ball. Polinia across to Diop, and Diop up towards the halfway line. Looks forward. Pereira, first time ball, whipped out here to Decordova-Reid. Decordova-Reid cross into the edge of the box, cleared on the half volley by Lindelof. Polinia brings it down on his right thigh, plays it back to Ream, and Ream starts a run. Tired Martial follows him, doesn't do much to stop him. Reed tries to play the pass out to the left, clips the heels of Malacia, diverts the ball into the path of Willian, takes on Bruno Fernandes, takes it to the byline, plays it back. Kenny's cross in. Oh, Vinicius was trying to get on the end of it. Dan James with a lobbed header onto the roof of the net. David De Gea, I think, had it covered, but all the threat at the moment is coming from Fulham.
Yeah, good energy from Fulham. They're really trying to put a lot of pressure on Manchester United. Manchester United at the moment are a little bit shocked with that equaliser from Fulham.
They've taken their goal kick, Manchester United. 25 minutes to play. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Fulham not beaten Manchester United in their last 14 games in all competitions. 3 draws, 11 defeats. They sense an opportunity to do that here this evening. Martinez, lofted ball down the middle, headed away by Diop. Decordova-Reid up the right-hand touchline to Daniel James. Polinia, measured pass to Pereira. Pereira sees 3 red shirts in front of him, comes 5 yards forward, gives it to Polina, across to Willian. Anthony Robinson had started the run behind him, but Fulham have switched it to the right. Headed away by Shaw. Rashford slipped. He's taken another knock on the head here. Referee's not stopped the game. Now he has to. Fulham fans think Rashford's making the most of it. I think he got a boot to the head. It's the 3rd time it's happened to him in the game that the game has had to be stopped. Fulham think it's gamesmanship.
Yeah, I think he gets a knee on the back of the head from Bobby Decordova-Reid. It's because Rashford slips. When he slips going for the ball, he also trips Decordova-Reid over, and his knee kind of clips the back of his head, and he stayed down.
Fulham fans not all that sympathetic. Hope Rashford's going to be okay. Eriksson gets him to his feet. The reason Fulham fans are frustrated as well, because they were onto that ball and they were attacking again, and they feel they've got Manchester United on the back foot.
Well, I mean, we know the rules, and if someone's holding their head and they're down, I mean, the referee can't guess as to whether or not he's legitimate or not. He's got to blow his whistle.
Really interesting one, wasn't there, Mark, in the Everton defeat of Bournemouth yesterday, where Tarkowski took a bang to the head and play continued, and you could see as soon as he did, Pickford had his arm up as if to say, let's deal with this. And then Bournemouth got their goal, and Frank Lampard very, very unhappy that the usual protocols weren't followed there. Rashford's okay, back on his feet. Fulham attacking momentum subsides for the moment, but they've got the ball back. They're inside their own half. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. With 6:06 on the way, the Brazilian Grand Prix underway over on 5 Sports Extra, to be followed by NFL coverage this evening at 9 o'clock. Cowboys at the Packers on Sports Extra tonight. Here's Polina sees Decordova-Reid, loads of space on the right hand side. Manchester United back off. Decordova-Reid brings it forward, finds Pereira, tries to give it back to Decordova-Reid on the run. Lindelof on the stretch, volleys it right up in the air. Shaw on his own byline, heads it away, bounces just outside the United box. Rashford jumps, beaten to it, runs to Polina here to Kearney wide to the right. Dan James is tackled, throw in for Fulham, just short of the Manchester United penalty area. Restart the game quickly again, do Fulham. Polina has it, and he plays back into his own half.
Yeah, Man United is still a little bit rattled after that equaliser. They haven't gotten into the game since the restart, and it's all been Fulham. But we also know the danger that Manchester United possess. They've got give them a half a chance. They can easily go on the other end and punish Fulham. So they're going to have to both be very, very careful not to concede the next goal.
20 minutes to play, just over. 1-1. Bernd Leno with the ball at his feet inside his own box. Diagonal pass out to Decordova-Reid. Pereira takes it inside his own half. Manchester United players close in. Shaw plays it forward to Martial. Pass deflected, gets away from Rashford, through to Leno.
Yeah, Pereira does really well because he gives the ball away. He sees it fall straight to Martial, and he's on his bike as quickly as he can to try and make a difference. And by doing so, gets a big deflection on it, and the ball pops up for Leno to secure the ball.
Tim Ream brought down inside his own half by Bruno Fernandes. Flying forward, definitely caught. Free kick for Fulham. Still 1-1. It's just a very, very different Fulham team, isn't it, this season compared to the last 2 times we've seen them in the Premier League. Both times promoted, went straight back down. 2019 under Slavica Jokanovic initially, as Pereira tries to get onto a through ball here, and Martinez controls it, passes to Casemiro just outside his own box. Long ball over the top looking for Martial, was never going to get that. Bernd Leno will be there. So that was Claudio Ranieri who took over afterwards, and then eventually went down under Scott Parker, came back up under Scott Parker, but again found it very, very hard. This time things look very different. 1-1 against Manchester United.
I think one of the reasons also is that Marco Silva done really well.
Dan James trying to use his pace, getting away from Martinez. Dan James into the Manchester United penalty area, stops for a second with the drag back, stumbles, then gets the cross in with his left foot. Oh, Vinicius was there waiting at the far post. Lindelof heads it away, Fulham corner.
Last ditch defending from Lindelof, does well again. Dan James is really quick. That's why I stopped in that story I was telling you. The fact that Dan James is so quick down this right-hand side, you could see he was going to win the race to the ball. Whips it a good cross. Good defending.
Martinez knew he was beaten and actually just tried to sort of nudge James into touch and off balance, and was hoping he was going to get away with it. James was strong and flew past him, and that will encourage him for the rest of this game into the last 20 minutes. 1-1. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Corner for Fulham. Anthony Robinson, couple of deep breaths. It's going to be an away swinger with the left foot. High one, away from goal. Ream with the header back across goal. Overhead kick. De Gea with a fabulous save. Falls to Diop. Diop plays it back and a low shot straight at De Gea. And that is his easiest save of the afternoon. But he's done it again for Manchester United there. Just looking at the replay now. It's Palhinha with the right-footed overhead kick and a congested penalty. There's some skill that.
Yeah, it was very, very good there. You can see that. I mean, he's just acrobatic. He gets a really good connection on the ball. De Gea, double fist, ball away. Just got to be a little bit careful there. You can see Vinicius was getting in the way of David De Gea. They're trying to play out quickly. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on, and the referees had to go over and settle all things down a bit.
Alejandro Garnacho, the 18-year-old Argentinian youth international, is on for Manchester United. Anthony Martial is off. He's come off our side of the field, so he's got the walk all the way around the pitch now in front of the Fulham fans. Just the second Premier League start of the season for him. No World Cup either, not in that French squad, so plenty of time for him to work on the fitness, get himself ready for when the season returns for Manchester United with that League Cup game, 4th round tie at home to Burnley, Tuesday the 20th of December, which is a couple of days after the World Cup final. Decordova-Reid heads it away. Palhinha volleys it forward. Martinez. Oh, Pereira had a little kick through Martinez. There he's under pressure. Pereira tries to foul him again. Then he gives him a shove. Brazil against Argentina, enjoying a bit of a South American dust up there. I think he was just annoyed that the first 2 fouls didn't come off, so just went for the third one just to absolutely make sure.
Yeah, you can see Casemiro as well. As Pereira was walking backwards, Casemiro's giving him a big shove in his back, but he's got a massive big smile on his face. Obviously the two Brazilians.
Yeah.
Pereira was having none of it though. His facial expressions were blank.
Sandro Martinez on the ball for Manchester United, throws his arms out in exasperation because he doesn't see an option. He's at walking pace inside the United half. 1-1. Christian Eriksen with an early goal for Manchester United to get them in front. Dan James with the equaliser in this second half. McTominay chasing a ball into the Fulham box. Play stops. William was fouled. Free kick for Fulham just outside their own penalty area. And Tim Ream slowly dribbles the ball towards the spot where the free kick is going to be taken. Players just gather their breath. Manchester United were in action on Thursday in the League Cup, although Erik ten Hag's made 6 changes from that team tonight, so it has been freshened up. Ball given away by Fulham here very easily. Lindelof side foots one to Malacia, halfway line. Casemiro through the lines to McTominay. Palhinha, brilliant again for Fulham, makes the tackle. Vinicius lays it off to Pereira. Sliding challenge from Martinez. He wanted that one, won it, beat Pereira. Casemiro gets away from Pereira on the dribble. Low pass to Garnacho. First touch of the evening into that Fulham box. He's going to try and beat Decordova-Reid. He falls over. Decordova-Reid stronger in the challenge. No penalty, says referee Paul Tierney. Play continues.
Well, I think he more than falls over. He's a bit theatrical in the way he goes down and looks to the referee straight away. The referee's having none of it, like you said.
Fernandes tries to hit the drive with his right foot. That's blocked at source from 30 yards out. Paul Tierney's just going to say, hold on a second here, before the throw-in is taken, which suggests that the video assistant referee, Stuart Atwell, might be having a look at the challenge on Garnacho.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't see it at all. Bobby Decordova, he steps across him.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a tangling of the legs, but you can see the referee's blow his whistle. It's play on. Nothing wrong with that.
Throw in on the right. Thrown to Fernandes. Back here to Malacia. Fernandes again. Are we going to get a winner in the game? 15 minutes to play. Then it's 6:06. Lines are open to get your calls in. 08085 909 693. Eriksen, sure-footed pass, finds Garnacho, getting booed by the home fans, dribbling again towards that Fulham goal. Diop gets a challenge in, wins the ball. Here's Decordova-Reid, clears from right back, great ball. Martinez coming across to cover it, good tackle on Pereira, slides in, wins the ball. Fulham get the throw.
Yeah, I think Martinez has had those last 2 challenges in his favour, and he's got one back on Pereira there. Very good timing of tackle though.
Yeah, you're right. Both times it was sort of 70-30 in his favour, having been fouled a few times just before that, so went at it full-blooded, and both players committed, no problems between them. Decordova-Reid waiting to take the throw, ball above his head on the right hand side, throws down towards Vinicius, heavily outnumbered, flicks it infield looking for Andreas Pereira, cleared by Shaw. Rashford chasing, Ream wins the header. Decordova-Reid nods it forward. Shaw comes off his head, falls to Dan James, edge of the United box. Ball on his right foot, turns it onto his left foot, can't find Willian with the pass. So Bruno Fernandes is there. Fernandes looking for McTominay's run through the middle. Palhinha slides in. Free kick goes to Manchester United, but an important challenge made in the midfield by Palhinha.
Yeah, Palhinha goes to ground, and as he goes to ground, he's got his left hand is balancing him as he's sliding along the turf, and McTominay tries to play it around him, and it collects his hand, and therefore it is a free kick. It's not. I don't think it's intentional at all. I think the referee's right. He doesn't give him a yellow card.
Yeah, United frustrated because they were on the break. They were sort of suggesting to the referee that it should be a yellow card for a deliberate handball, but I think Mark is right. His hand was where it would be, sliding in, making that challenge, and he just got fortunate in a way that he stopped the pass that way. Here's Lindelof. Chip ball to the left. Garnacho to Shaw. Back to Garnacho. Just flicks it away from Dan James. Confident young man, number 49 for Manchester United, and wonderful skills in those feet. Brought on to try and be a match winner here at Craven Cottage. Having scored the winner away to Real Sociedad recently in the Europa League, as Decordova-Reid heads the ball away from right back. Dan James has got pace and skill as well. He's going to try and use it now, away down the right. Martinez is there, jockeying for position. Cross comes in, cleared away by Lindelof, out for a throw-in to Fulham on the right. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1.
It was a good ball from Dan James. If there was a Fulham player making that run to that near post, Vinicius, I think he's breathing a little bit heavily, maybe just didn't have the energy to get to that near post area, and Lindelof stepped into the space and made the clearance.
Throw-in for Fulham to be taken by Decordova-Reid. Pereira runs towards him, he's able to control it, he's able to get a low cross in. Shaw blocks it, that's another throw. Fulham were hoping that might go out for a corner. Pressure coming from the home team at the moment. Palhinha, Pereira standing out again. I've watched Fulham a few times this season. Great signings for the club this summer. Throw in from Decordova-Reid to Vinicius. Vinicius back to Pereira. Pereira's got Shaw and Garnacho in front of him. Decordova-Reid blocked by Luke Shaw. Free kick for Fulham wide on the right.
Yeah, it's one of those silly fouls to give away in a dangerous situation. Don't need to. All you need to do is stay with your runner. Instead, Luke Shaw does the obvious sort of block of Decordova-Reid. Yeah, he steps across him. As he gets beaten, he steps clearly across him, sticks his arm out. I mean, he is trying to remonstrate with the referee, but it's a clear foul.
So 11 minutes to play. Mark Schwarzer with us here at Craven Cottage. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. 6:06 is on the way on 5 Live this evening. Are Fulham going to get themselves in front? Free kick on the right. Andreas Pereira will take it, waiting for the referee's whistle. There we go, right-footed delivery at pace, and it comes, headed powerfully over the bar by Palhinha. Free header, couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ball in there for Pereira. It was obviously well worked. He's waiting for Palhinha to make that run across. He starts at the edge of the 18-yard box, steps in. Actually, no, he starts further around, deeper in the 18-yard box, and steps across to the penalty spot. And he's absolutely free. He's got a free header. Yep. All he needs to do is try and get it on target, and unfortunately gets underneath it too much.
Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Luke Shaw with his left-footed ball into Ericsson. Casemiro. Luke Shaw again has popped up in central midfield under a bit of pressure, does well to keep his feet, passes beyond Ericsson. Pereira's fouled him. Free kick for Manchester United inside their own half.
Yeah, it's a clear foul there. I was just wondering, I didn't hear the whistle. I'm not sure it was the fans or what, but I'll go with you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either, and I was thinking, well, that is a foul, not a throw.
Well, he has given it. Yeah, it is a foul.
Yeah. 10 minutes remaining in the game. 08085 909 693, the number to dial to have your say on 606. Pereira's passed the ball straight out of play. So as I was saying, yeah, Mark Schwarzer with us here. He'll be part of our World Cup coverage as well. Just had a little look in the record books. 514 top flight appearances to your name, Mark. I was watching Match of the Day last night. James Milner obviously made his 600th Premier League appearance, one of only 4 players to do so, as Bruno Fernandes dummies across on the right, then he floats it in with his right foot, finds Garnacho, first time volleyed cross is bumped away by Palhinha. The ball bounces inside the Fulham half. Martinez is there. Casemiro to Shaw buffeted by Palhinha, then gets the cross in, goes all the way through the Fulham box. Fernandes is there wide on the right, he's massively overhit the cross, and it goes behind for a goal kick, very unlike him.
Yeah, I think he looks to try and hit it with the outside of his foot and whip that cross in, almost like a shot cross, and just goes horribly wrong, gets too far underneath it, and almost gets the extra point or 2 points.
So the point I was going to make was, so Milner, along with Ryan Giggs, Gareth Barry, Frank Lampard, that's a Premier League record, the only 4 to 600. But in the history of English top-flight football, i.e. Premier League, you are in the top 50 of all time appearance makers in English football, which is quite something. You're 50th equal with Ian Rush.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all, that stat. I know the Premier League stat, and 514 Premier League games, which obviously we're very proud of. There's only 10 of us, I think, over 500, 4 over 600. So that 4 over 600 is mightily impressive.
Yeah, well done you. Here's Garnacho attacking for Manchester United down the left. Luke Shaw down to the byline. Cross comes in, header over the bar from McTominay. That's a good chance, and it's gone begging.
Yeah, another big chance now this end for Manchester United. McTominay, you can see he stayed on the ground for a little bit, head into the turf. Cannot believe he didn't get it on target, because it's a really good opportunity. Free header, 5 yards out?
Yeah. Pace on the cross, but I mean, McTominay, he's got in some good attacking positions since coming on in this second half, and wow, that really was a great chance. Have a look for yourselves tonight. Match of the Day 2, BBC 1 at 10:30. Anthony Robinson inside his own half. Plays back to Palhinha. Palhinha to Kearney. I'm sure Kearney will have enjoyed starting a game and playing the majority of it for Fulham. He's come off the bench in every single Premier League game this season. Harrison Reed and Palhinha have been the midfield partnership. Leno's ball down the middle, chested down well by Vinicius. Layoff here from Pereira. James chases it. Casemiro's there first. He's caught. Free kick for Manchester United. 7 minutes remaining. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1.
Yeah, it's a little bit scrappy at the moment. There's a bit of fouling going on from both sides. It's just that desperation to try and win that ball, hit the other team, hit the opposition on the counter attack, because it's worked for both teams quite well this evening.
Martinez, that's a straight ball driven downfield. Fernandes chases, running with Anthony Robinson, goes sliding forward on his knees, wasn't going to get there. Half thought, I think, about potential contact in the area. Can I win a penalty? Decided against it very sensibly.
Yeah, it's one of those balls through over the top, challenging, and Fernandes, the way he goes down, it looks like he's going to go. He's calling for a penalty.
Yeah.
And his initial reaction was that, but I think it was more about the frustration of the ball slightly too overhit for him to get on the end of it, because he doesn't actually call for a penalty at all.
A couple of Fulham fans behind us have just caught the sight of the replay and think they knew what he was up to. I wonder whether he was just slightly concerned about appearing in the simulation game on 6:06 this evening. He had second thoughts about trying to win the penalty, because Chris Sutton is absolutely merciless with those divers. 6 minutes remaining in the game. Chris and Robbie on the way. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Diop to Pereira. Pereira back to Decadova-Reid. Decadova-Reid across to Palhinha for Fulham inside their own half. Tim Ream closed down by Bruno Fernandes. Across here to Robinson. Robinson still at full steam, charging down the left for Fulham. Willian drops a shoulder, tries to beat McTominay. McTominay just breathing down his neck, sticks with him, and Willian forced back into his own half to Ream. Ream plays it back to Leno. Leno's clearance right down the middle of the pitch, easily dealt with by Lindelof. Volleys a pass to Martinez. Here's Luke Shaw. Shaw, ball through the middle for Rashford. Rashford's control, trying to keep it now into the box. Palhinha slides in. Palhinha's bumped there by Garnacho. Fulham get the free kick.
Yeah, Palhinha does really well. First and foremost, you can see that Marcus Rashford looks like he's got a really good opportunity there. He takes a touch, tries to get back around to try and get a shot or a pass towards goal. Instead, Palhinha was excellent, diving in, timing was perfect, gets up, wins it, and then wins the foul as well.
Fulham fans love him. Part of that Portuguese squad for the World Cup on the way. Reams layoff here to Anthony Robinson. Left-footed ball at pace, looking for the run of Kearney. Covered by Lindelof, back to De Gea. De Gea clears first time with his right foot. Rashford challenged by Ream. Ball runs to Eriksson. Malassia's ball blocked by Palhinha, seems to be everywhere for Fulham. And out it goes for a throw into Manchester United on the right. Closing stages. Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Here's Eriksson. Eriksson thinks about the Hollywood ball with the left foot across his own half. Decided it was too risky. Back to De Gea. Now given to Martinez, edge of his own box. Andreas Pereira's right there in front of him, plays it back to De Gea. Forward to Eriksson. Eriksson just outside his penalty area. Low pass to his left, finds Lisandro Martinez. And Martinez now jogging forward with the ball at his feet. Forward to Luke Shaw. Manchester United on the attack. Shaw's cross comes in. Diop heads it away. Nodded forward by McTominay, edge of the box. And David De Gea makes the save. So closing stages here is 1-1. Let's get a quick update on the Brazilian Grand Prix. Jack Nicholls.
Perez has got the best run of all. He looks to the inside of Verstappen, Sergio Perez. Verstappen goes around the outside of Hamilton. Coming down into the S's, and there's contact. Hamilton and Verstappen collide. Perez is up into second place. Verstappen is going to be in big trouble with a front left problem, and it's a rear problem for Hamilton. Both of the contenders from last season have come together again, and it looks as though they're going to be out of the running. George Russell is leading. Perez is second, and up into third is going Charles Leclerc. He's going side by side with Lando Norris up the hill towards Ferradura, but Hamilton and Verstappen have collided, and now Leclerc's been hit by Norris. Leclerc is off and into the wall. Leclerc in the Ferrari out of the Grand Prix. So it's Russell leading, Perez second, and Norris now is up in the third place. Chaos at the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Thank you, Jack. Dan James, low cross into the penalty area. Lindelof there for Manchester United. Behind it goes for the corner. What a time to join the dramatic action over in Brazil. Commentary continues over on Sports Extra. Are we going to get a dramatic finish here at Craven Cottage? Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Chances for both teams in the second half. End-to-end stuff. But can one of them find a way through? Come on, Fulham. The chant rings around the ground. Andreas Pereira, silence falls as he gets ready to take the corner with his right foot. Delivery into the near post. Diop challenges for it. Thumped away by Bruno Fernandes. Garnacho trying to get underneath it. Robinson wins the header for Fulham. That goes straight up in the air. Eriksson heads it forward. Robinson chests it down. Nice pass out to the right. Andreas Pereira is going to go early delivery into the box here. Lindelof heads it away. Vinicius trying to get there. He's battling with Malacia. Malacia wins that battle. McTominay inside his own half. Manchester United now coming forward. 89th minute of the game. Garnacho still getting booed here for what the Fulham fans felt was a dive quite soon after coming on the field. McTominay's pass out to the right, crossing from Casemiro. Ream's header might fall to Fernandes. Heads it across goal, couldn't find Rashford. Bernd Leno's got it covered and takes control of it for Fulham.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Fernandes looks to try and head the ball with power across the face of the goal, and he just completely overheads it, and it goes too much towards the far post. You can see Marcus Rashford making a move towards the near post, and unfortunately for Manchester United, ball just drops kindly for Bernd Leno.
90th minute of the game, 1-1. Bernd Leno spins it out, edge of the penalty area. Fulham waiting to make a late change. Clearance downfield, Vinicius challenged for it. It's run to Kearney. Kearney's got Willian on the outside, wide on the left. Willian stops dead in his tracks. Got Casemiro in front of him. Brazilian against Brazilian. Willian twisting and turning, but not going anywhere productively here. Has had to come back into his own half, and now the referee stopped the game because Fulham player Andreas Pereira is down holding his head. Marcus Rashford's checking he's okay, heading towards added time at the end of the game, and this might just add a little bit more. Didn't actually see what happened.
Well, Marcus Rashford was just tapping on his own shoulder to indicate that he's run into his shoulder, so maybe it was just a turning. We're going to see it now on the replay. Yeah, they're not actually watching. You can see it. Marcus Rashford's watching the ball, Pereira's watching the ball, and as they're both sort of just going back to their various positions, Pereira actually runs into Rashford and hits him with his chin on his shoulder, and that's what brought him to the ground.
Yeah. Glancing blow. He's got one of those chin strap goatees. Bright blonde peroxide hair and then a very dark chin strap beard. Change being made for Fulham. Late in the game here, Fulham 1, Manchester United 1. Tom Kearney giving a standing ovation as he leaves the field. First Premier League start of the season for him. Did a terrific job actually today alongside Joao Paulinho. Hands the captain's armband over to Tim Ream, who gives him a big hug. And it's Josh Onomar who's going to come on for the closing stages. Paul Tierney, referee's got a ball in hand. So Onomar on. 3 minutes of added time at the end of the game. 3 minutes more of Premier League football. And then you can all start thinking about the World Cup. Monday Night Club tomorrow, special Wales preview on Tuesday night, England preview on Wednesday night, ultimate World Cup preview on Thursday night, all from 7 o'clock on 5 Live. All available as pods on the World Cup daily feed from tomorrow. First game of the World Cup, Qatar against Ecuador, 4 o'clock kickoff, full commentary, 5 Live, this time next week. Robinson heads the ball forward. Ball is loose inside the Manchester United half. Onomar stretches, it comes off into Vinicius, and Vinicius is going to get this cross in towards Dan James, behind Dan James, and that will give Luke Shaw a chance to bring it away for Manchester United. Plays back to Martinez, got to be careful here in the closing stages. Nicely done from Shaw. Pass through to Casemiro. Eriksen bouncing up to the halfway line. It was his goal that got Manchester United in front. Garnacho dribbling in from the left, looking for the 1-2. Declan Over-Reed had it covered, he thought, but Garnacho stuck it away in added time. The 18-year-old has won it for Manchester United. He's ripped off his shirt. He's sliding on his knees to celebrate the goal, and Manchester United close to within 3 points of the top 4 in the Premier League with a late winner from Alejandro Garnacho.
Yeah, incredible scenes here. Manchester United snatched that last gasp winner of the game. You can see Fulham were trying to press Man United really high up into their own half. You can see Josh Almost just come on. Really should have been back in midfield. Instead he's trying to put pressure on Manchester United up in their own half. That leaves the gaps. Manchester United exploited it. And it's simple. Similar goal again, catching Fulham out of position, outnumbered. And it was a simple finish. Nice tap into the far post. No chance for Bernd Leno.
What a moment for the 18-year-old. Only a third appearance for Manchester United in the Premier League. We'll get to see it again. Lovely 1-2 with Christian Eriksen. Perfect weight on the pass, so quick onto it, and then didn't try and hurry the finish or lass it. Just stroked it beautifully into the bottom corner. Fulham 1, Manchester United 2.
I mean, Eriksen's one-touch pass is sublime. The weight on it, the direction of it was absolutely brilliant.
And that's it. Paul Tierney blows the full-time whistle, and that is a huge win for Manchester United. Garnacho off the bench, the 18-year-old, with his first goal in the Premier League. Beautifully worked the 1-2 with Christian Eriksen. Huge smile across his face, and rightfully so. And what a way, Mark Schwarzer, for Manchester United to go into the World Cup break, beaten by Aston Villa last week, bounce back with a win in the League Cup, win here today, and just 3 points off the top 4.
Yeah, it's an amazing run for Manchester United, amazing turnaround, and to win it so dramatically, so late in the game. Also, as credit to them, just never giving up, continuing to go, continuing to try and push forward, taking their chances. Manchester United didn't have as many chances as Fulham today, except the difference is they've taken them.
Alejandro Garnacho, the 18-year-old, absolutely mobbed by delighted teammates. They're whacking his head, they're pushing him, they're slapping him. Bruno Fernandes gave him a celebratory kick up the backside. It's a moment he'll never forget. Manchester United fans absolutely delighted in the away end at Craven Cottage. Late winner for them. It's finished Fulham 1, Manchester United 2.